Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's show. I've got 5 more amazing Biggest Loser alumni for you, and they're going to tell you how they feel about the show, their takeaways, and their thoughts on Fit for TV and Netflix's docuseries that just came out on behind the scenes of the show. My name is Adrian. I was a season 3 contestant on The Biggest Loser, and I'm going to... Oh, someone's got a thing on. I'm going to go ahead and let everybody introduce themselves. Go ahead, Gina.
Hi, I'm Gina Haddon, and I was on season 16 from Dallas, Texas.
I'm Chandra Maple. I was Gina's bestie on season 16, Go Blue Team, and I am from Dodge City, Kansas.
Suzy Hoover, season 2, like forever ago.
Ruben, season 2, 20 years ago, Suzy, and I'm originally from Washington State, Yakima Valley, USA, and now I'm in Marysville, Washington.
Matthew Camont, season 1, 21 years ago, and Easton, Pennsylvania. Red team.
If you guys have any questions today for our guests today, please put them in the chat and I will be sure to get them. But the first thing we want to start with is I would love for you guys to just give me a little overview of your experience on the show and maybe what life has been like afterwards. So like for me, I was on the show, I was pretty successful. I lost 66 pounds. After the show, it's been a struggle bus and I've tried everything from eating nothing but sardines, half marathon running. And eventually for me, I found that the ticket is combining a whole foods diet with a GLP-1. So you don't have to give all of that, but whatever you'd like to share, go ahead, Gina.
I had a fantastic time on the show. I don't know if you know this, but I tried out for all of y'all seasons. I tried out for all seasons. Finally got on season 16. So I watched you all and I had the most amazing magical time on the show. It was literally like winning the lottery for me. And since then, I'm probably just like everybody else. I still try everything. Workout wise, I try everything. I've been doing CrossFit for about 7 years. I haven't done it in the past 2 years, but when I came home, I just did that. And so I still struggle. It's always going to be a struggle, but I just keep it moving.
So for me, I love the show. I think it was one of the best things to happen to me in my life. I feel like I have life before the show and I have life after the show because so much just changed for me in all of the best ways, including the new family that I got, the extended family from other seasons that I got. But since the show, I feel like everyone else, same answer. It's been a struggle. It's not realistic to keep going. We were working out 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day. You can't do that when you get back to real life. And so of course you gain the weight, you lose some, you gain some, you lose some. I gained all of it back and then some. At one point, 5 years ago, I had gastric sleeve. So I did do that. I've been mostly successful, but I don't know. Sometimes I think my body hates me, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so still a struggle, but hey, it's a lifelong journey for us all, isn't it?
My time on the show was 20 years ago, which feels like an entire lifetime. Well, it is a lot of people's lifetimes. It's a whole like adult plus 2. I ended up meeting my husband on the show. So to me, I wouldn't change a thing. I feel like everything in life doesn't happen for a reason, but because it happens, you get to choose what you make of that. So for me, I wouldn't want to change anything because my past frames who I am today. I married my husband from the show. We had 2 kids. We just had a son graduate, turn 18. I have another one about to turn 17. I got married and started popping out babies. So I put all my weight back on. With my first kid, lost it all again, got pregnant 4 months later, put it all back on, went crazy, lost it all again. And for 20 years, I have bounced back and forth. I don't know, about 7 years ago, I said, forget this. And I just was chubby. And then about a year and a half ago, I did have gastric sleeve surgery. My husband had it 5 years ago and has had a lot of success. So I finally did that. And I'm really glad with that. It doesn't mean all my problems are solved. It's still a battle every day to choose what I put in my mouth and why I want to put the things in my mouth. So for me, I believe it's an addiction and I have to work on it every day. The end.
Nice to see you, Suzy.
Your turn, Ruben.
Nice to see you. I too was on season 2 20 years ago. And I became a personal trainer. When I met the other contestants, they looked at me and they said, "Why are you here? You're not fat. You just want to be on TV. You're a poser fat guy." And I was like, "What? I am too fat." And basically, I felt like my fitness goal was invalidated. So in that moment, I decided to become a trainer. And I've been doing that for 20 years since. In Los Angeles, I was doing that up until about 2019. Then came back to the home state here and got into sales because I didn't know anybody in the fitness industry. And then now I was putting weight back on, and I quit that lifestyle because I was doing that, and so I wanted to get back in the gym, and I started working with seniors, and I've held my certification with NASA ever since the show myself, and so that's the population. The goals change. Right now, my goal is, and for all my clients, is to have a great quality of life and to have the mobility that they want, to do the things that they still want to do in life. Some of the best times are still ahead of us, so we need to keep that in mind as we go on in life, that we can actually get better as we get older. So that's what I've been up to for a long time, and I'm still doing it.
That's awesome.
Matthew?
Hi. I had an amazing experience on the show. I mean, unfortunately, I was only in for about 4 episodes until I got kicked off. So it wasn't a very long journey on the show, but it was an amazing experience. I've always had nothing but positive things to say. I will say, which we'll probably get into later, which is the only thing that and everybody said the same thing, is about the aftercare. There was no aftercare. It was pretty much just like, bye, thanks for being on the show. And good luck. So, what's your name again? But it was an amazing experience. Right afterwards, I ended up meeting my husband. So we've been together for 20 years. And so the weight started creeping up. I started smoking again. And but then I quit again, and I've gone up and I've gone down on my weight just like everybody else. It's going to be a lifelong struggle. Right now, I have started a GLP-1, but also because I am diabetic, so my A1C has actually gone down. I finally started doing it for me, which is ironic. When the documentary came out, I'm like, wow, actually this is kind of funny because I've just started my weight loss journey again, and here this comes out. And it's just interesting that I kind of actually just mentioned this to some people today, that for 21 years I've been answering the same. I'm sure you guys have kind of, especially Suzy and Ruben. Sorry, I almost said Raymond. I'm like, sorry, Ruben. That I'm sure you guys are familiar too, being so long out, that I'm like, we get the same questions for the past 20 something years. It's the same questions over and over and over again. So it's interesting that just the past month, the questions have been completely different. And I'm like, oh, I'm not used to these questions anymore. So, but overall, my weight loss journey, I'm down about 30 pounds right now, and it's just about eating healthy, eating right. I'm doing it for me for once. And just because I want to be healthy, I don't even care about skinny anymore. So I just want to be healthy. And for once, it doesn't even feel like a diet. I'm just eating better. So, and just doing things better. And I don't know, I'm on the right journey for once. So I feel like everything's finally clicked after 20 something years. So anyway, but I'm happy to be here, and nice to meet everybody. I get to finally meet all of you. Hi.
I know. Is anybody else like fangirling or boying? Because I am. I'm so excited about this. Okay, so we have our first question, and it is, do contestants have access to the kitchen and food anytime? And are you in charge of cooking your own meals? Or did we have a chef?
Did any of you have chefs?
No.
Okay, professional.
No, we did have a great kitchen, though.
We deemed as the chef of all of us contestants, because I feel like, Gina, would you agree? Like, we had some real good cooks in our season that were totally fine with cooking for all of us. Like, we would all choose a meal. Oh, I'm really good at making this or whatever. And we would all eat. Yes, we did have access to the kitchen at any time. Gina and I, y'all, we became best friends instantly, and we still are to this day. And we were like, just one night, we were really hungry. Not, just to be clear, not because they were starving us or anything. We were just really hungry. We had a big day that day. it had to be 3 a.m. because we didn't sleep.
It was
We
the
were
first.
down there and we got, it was, okay, we went and got what, Ezekiel bread and almond butter. It was the nastiest thing ever. Y'all, we,
Tortillas. It was Ezekiel tortillas.
yeah, oh
I
yeah, that's
hate
what it was.
Ezekiel
Peanut
bread.
butter
Oh,
and strawberry.
I could never ever eat that again. But that night, it was like Jesus had spat on it himself, and it was nasty, but it was delicious, and it was
So good.
yes, we had access to the kitchen and food at any time.
Well, you guys, and
That's
what's
cool.
interesting is you guys all had the same house. We were the only ones without. We were in a different house. So you
Well,
guys
you had
have
a
all.
different
I've never
house.
been
You
to
had
the
a different house
campus.
than us.
Yeah, we were in we were in Malibu, but we were at the oh my God, what is it called? It's a famous house. Kelsey Grammer actually got married there to Camille, and like Julia Roberts was there, and like we were all like at the window. We couldn't go outside. We're all at the window watching this wedding, and like it was really cool. So I forget what the name of that Saddle Rock Ranch, but that's
Oh,
where we were.
Saddle Peak Lodge or something.
So it was, yeah,
Hey,
very.
Suzy could say, Suzy, the kitchen at the ranch we were at was amazing, wasn't it? It was like a French design that they imported from France, and it was incredible. It had everything on it. It was so amazing, and made cooking really easy for me. I mean, I was grilling stuff mostly, but it had like a barbecue and stuff like that. But that was one of my favorite parts. Of course, you guys, I was only there for like 10 days because I was the first one gone. So you may not know me.
I got you all beat. I was sent home day 1.
Day 1?
Yeah, but I came back later, much to everybody's horror.
Right.
So, Suzy and Ruben, were you guys in the Hummingbird Ranch in Semi Valley as well?
Yes.
And it was gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Speaking of, gorgeous,
Beautiful,
and
beautiful.
the documentary made it look like we were just trashed on. I would like to know, did you get to pick your food? Did you like the food? Did they force like health food on you? Gina, go ahead.
Oh yeah. I mean, you couldn't overeat probably in our kitchen. Everything in our kitchen was healthy. And to this day, if I start to gain weight, I'll go back and get that exact same food that they had in our refrigerator. Because it was great food. And if you indulged in too many things, like remember the big things of nuts we had? And we found out how many calories a walnut has. None of us knew how many calories a walnut had. So you could indulge if you wanted to, but all the food was healthy. It was good for you. Everybody's skin started to look good. Their hair started to look good. Everybody got prettier. And I really think it's the food.
On our season, it was the year of like the all fake food. We had fake sugars. Everything was diet. Everything was made with Splenda. It wasn't this later where they got on these health ticks. It was all about the calories. So if you could get the fake food, we ate fake cheese. Like it was all fake food. So I actually formed like a Splenda allergy where if I have Splenda now, I'm keeled over in pain because that's literally all we had when we were there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, see, Suzy remembers that, but I have a different experience because I thought, man, they're getting everything from Whole Foods, Trader Joe's. I'm like, this is great because normally I couldn't shop at Whole Foods. The budget that I had in my own life, I was shopping at like Ralph's or whatever. But it's like.
But Ruben, you weren't there very long.
Nitrate. That's right. Oh, I know. I already said that. I wasn't there long. Yeah.
Just teasing. No, so I mean, and that was because I did the math with my calories. I wanted to get like the most amount of food for the least amount of calories. So I was eating everything fake. So remember the spray butter?
Oh,
we had this spray butter. Like,
Julia loved that spray butter, boy. Woo.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
I used it for like years afterwards too.
She might sue you about that. Okay, be careful what you say.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Good point.
Yeah, I love it. That's hilarious. Matthew, do you have any memories of the food?
We no, it was kind of the same thing as like everybody else is saying, is that they would pretty much do the shopping for you. You could ask for anything that you wanted, but you also have to be careful because you could also ask for the wrong thing and then end up going home. So, but you could pretty much ask for whatever, they'll buy you, whatever, but you also have to make sure we always checked, and you know this, to check the labels, because sometimes the people, whether it was on purpose or by accident, they would not always buy the right thing. So you're like, oh, I asked for ranch. I'm like, yeah. You didn't look at the back. So we used to put all of the stuff on the door backwards, so you would have to look at the nutrition value, so you couldn't miss it, because there was a couple times we got somebody would buy two of the same thing and one would be diet and one would not be, so you really had to look. So that's why it made me think that they were doing it on purpose, but I don't know. I'm like, who knows? But anyway, so no, it was good, and we always made our own food, and I don't know. I again, good experience. I didn't really have a bad experience with that.
Okay, I would
Hey, I
love
want
to
to
know
say something
though.
about the food.
Yeah, go
real
ahead,
quick.
Ruben.
I want to say something real quick, Adrian. We had a guy on their season, Suzy. Remember Nick? He was he was also a chef, and he was like, I want sashimi grade ahi, and that was his biggest complaint. That's all I remember. I want sashimi grade ahi. He was gonna slice it up, man. We're gonna have some sashimi. I'm mad at it.
Yeah. So our next question is, what did you guys eat on the ranch? Because this person wants to lose weight. I want to alter it a little bit, because perhaps we've learned over time. What would you suggest people eat over time? And I'm just going to throw in there that I've been carnivore. I don't know if that's the ticket for everyone. I don't know if low carb's a ticket for everyone at this point. I would say whole foods. But what do you guys think?
I think what we had on our show is the best thing to eat if you're trying to lose weight. It was so well rounded, and by the time we were on the show, we had the MyFitPal app, so we were able to put everything in on the iPad. Thanks, Chandra, for your help with that. We were able to put everything in on the iPad, and so it would calculate our calories and macros and all that good stuff. But we had really any kind of vegetable we wanted. We had meats, we had lunch meats, we had cheese. We had ground turkey. We even had steak. We even went out to we were at a seafood restaurant. This was later in the season, and they were okay with us ordering lobster and then dipping it in butter, because we didn't have any carbs to mix with it. We skipped the French fries. Do you know what I mean? So they really taught us how to eat on the outside, because they would take us places. But on the inside, they filled our refrigerator with stuff that we couldn't mess up with.
Actually, can I add to that? You're right, though, about the taking us out. I don't know. It wasn't part of the show. You didn't see it on camera. But I don't know. But if Jillian did that with any of you. Did anybody have Jillian?
No.
Ever had Bob? Oh, you had Jillian? So Jillian would take us on off-camera days, and she would take us to her gym. She would take us out, like she would like let us do stuff, make us run places. But anyway, when we would go, she took us to In-N-Out. So, and she let us order food, but like, so she made us make choices where if we could have I think it's called a protein burger or something, like where it's no bun, it's just lettuce. You could have that. But so if you had no bun, you could have French fries. Yeah. What is it called?
Protein style.
Protein style, yes. So if you did it that way, you didn't have fries. But if you wanted fries, then you could do no shake, or you could have a shake. But anyway, the point is that she made us make better decisions. We had pizza the one time. She let us have 3 pieces of Domino's. If it was plain, 1 piece. If it was meat. So the whole point is so you could see that making better choices, you could have more food if you had better choices and things. So we got to eat outside. El Pollo Loco, we went there a couple times. So like we did eat outside of the ranch as well. I just wish it was on camera, but that wasn't on camera. So but it was fun.
Kind of seems like all the good stuff wasn't on camera. No. I agree with Gina. Like, our fridges, cabinets, everything, they were fully stocked. I remember like our team sat down, because we decided on our season, we had like 3 fridges, if I remember right. And one was the blue team, one was the white team, and one was the red team. So we sat down as a team, right, Gina? And like we made our list of okay, what do we want to eat? What are the things that we want? It was not on our team, but one team, somebody asked for like Diet Coke or like, yeah, something like I don't know. And they were like, no, you can't have that. That's too much sugar. That's unhealthy. We're not doing that. You're trying to break those habits. They were kind and respectful about it. Like they were never rude or anything, but
isn't that caffeine?
I don't even remember what it was that they asked for, but you know, that caffeine seems to be a little controversial, but I remember we had everything we could ever want. And I mean, like, what did we have? Oh my, and by the way, this is a question from my cousin. Love you, cousin. Shout out. We had whole foods. Everything it wasn't processed foods. It wasn't sugary. It wasn't high in salts and things like that. It was just stuff that your body actually needs and actually uses and can properly break down. Like, which I know that doesn't answer for, she's probably wanting exactly what foods we had, but I mean, we just real food. It's so hard to give you because we just had everything. Like Gina said, we had the protein, we had steak, chicken, turkey, fish. I mean, all of it.
All the best stuff.
Yeah, we had all the good stuff, but it was not stuff that was overly processed. And they told us too, if you have to shop in the aisles, then it doesn't belong. If it can sit on the shelf, it can sit on your body. And I remember them telling me that, and that's what clicked for me. And so I was like, okay, when I shop, I want to stay on the outsides. I want to stay in the fridges. I want to stay, so when I think of eating healthy and cleaning up my diet, that's what I think of. If most of my grocery cart is full of stuff that I grabbed from the shelf, I'm probably not going to be as successful as I want to be. Not saying that stuff is all bad, but I'm saying I'm probably not going to be as successful as I want to be as quickly as I want to be. If I stick, and I've done this myself and I've tested it. If I stick to the outskirts of the grocery store and buy that stuff that I got to eat it quick, or I'm going to the grocery store every other day so that I can eat healthier, I'm way more successful.
Mm-hmm.
What say you, Suzy?
What question are we on? I'm like getting old. I can't even read that.
What would you suggest people eat if they're going to lose weight?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, like when I was on the show, I did not do it right. I mean, I ate shredded lettuce, ground turkey, egg whites, and sugar-free fudgesicles. Like, Diet Right was our sponsor. Like, we had Diet Pop at the ready. So, for me now that I've had the gastric sleeve surgery, I eat very small amounts. And for me, it's about math right now. It's about, like, I know I need certain nutrients in my proteins. So I try to be protein focused on what I eat. But I think that everybody's body is different, and it's whatever you do and can sustain and stay successful with. That's what you should do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I want to know, who told you how many calories to eat and how many was it? For real. Because I know Jillian says that she never told anybody 800 calories, but I've seen interviews with like some of the people she's been with where she said, oh yeah, I told people to eat 800 calories and work out 6,000 calories a day. And she said, and not a single one of my contestants lost muscle. And I'm like, and now she's saying she never said 800 calories. So tell us what happened in your season for real.
Are we going in the circle?
Yeah, go ahead, Gina.
Oh, I was 1,025. I'll never forget it. I can still see it written.
1274. Did you get that from your trainer or did you get that from Dr. H?
God, if I wasn't old, I could probably remember. I want to say that I think it was Cheryl.
Yep, maybe. Cheryl Forberg.
I think Cheryl helped with that. I think it was kind of everyone decided. Hopefully they got an HR by the time we were there, and they all would have meetings before it, because I kept looking around going, where the hell is HR? Because I just felt like, things were kind of crazy sometimes. But when they gave that to me, I was like, are you kidding me? That's one meal. And so, but then like after day 3, I was like, I cannot eat 1,000 calories, because 1,000 calories in good food is a lot of food. You know what I mean? So it wasn't that hard. I didn't think, but I can't remember who all did it, but I know it was in our MyFitPal. It was in our, right? Wasn't it, Chandra?
Yep.
It was in our little app that we did. So
that would have been so helpful to have that.
It was.
Yeah, I had a book and I had to write it down on paper.
Yeah, we had books.
I would have.
Who carries a book to the gym?
Calorie King is that big. Calorie King
Yeah.
book. Remember that, Suzy? That little Calorie King book, the paper
Yeah.
book.
My
Somebody
How
told
much
me
were you allowed
1,500
to eat?
calories in the
Go
1,500 for
ahead,
me, and I
Ruben.
think they told 1,500 for the men on my season is what I think I remember, and then Suzy, I think for the women it was like 1,200, wasn't it?
I never ate 1,200 for sure. Mine definitely changed based on my goals that week. There were most weeks I was between 8 and 900. And to the best of my remembrance, don't sue me, Bob, but it was Bob totally determined my calories and what I ate. And he would come and look at our notebooks. Now, back in my day, he was there almost every day. Like, he wasn't famous yet. So he would come and, like, hang out. He'd eat a sugar-free fudgesicle with us. He'd be looking and mocking, if Andrea decided to eat some grapes and instead of,
Andrea.
ground turkey or whatever. So
Chandra, how much were you allowed to eat?
I was 1356. I'm like, Gina, I'll never forget that number. I don't know. So anyway, and I do remember that it was Cheryl and Dr. H that came together for what our, was it a DEXA scan? Whatever the scan was that we did and our muscle mass and all that. And they put that together based on the macros and nutrients and stuff like that. And I will say, not many, a handful of people know this. I could not eat that much. I was, if you guys remember in the documentary, episode 2, like 2.5 minutes in, Dr. H talks about how when you start working out really heavy, when you're obese, how you lose your appetite. That happened to me. My body went into starvation mode. Not many people know this. I could not eat anything. The smell of food made me physically ill. My teammates were worried about me. They went to Dr. H and Cheryl because they had noticed that I wasn't like logging anything in my food. Like I was logging stuff, but I was only actually intaking very, very little. And I remember Damien and Gina, they went and they were like, something's up because she's not like, she doesn't want to eat. When she smells food, like she's sick, she's not feeling well. And Dr. H and Cheryl both dropped everything. They came in, they pulled me to the side and they did blood work. And he came back and he said, your body's in starvation mode. You're not okay. You're really sick. I've got to get you to eat. And he like pulled my team in with me, and my team, I love them forever for this. They said, we will work with you. What do you need? And he said, we've got to start her off on simple things on her tummy. We've got to start her off with like smoothies and stuff. So this was not a show thing. This was not somebody telling me not to eat. I physically could not eat. Like I would Gina knows, her and I did everything together. I'd take 2 bites of something. I'd be like, I cannot. It didn't matter how good it tasted. They started me out on like smoothies and stuff. And we found this out right about the time that I went home too. So it's just this whirlwind of like, my calories were 1356, but I couldn't eat that. I think I ate it like the first day or 2, maybe. And it was really hard to get there. Like Gina said, when you're eating that good, that's a lot of calories, no matter what you're burning. But for me, I hit it the first, couple days. But then after that, I mean, I was eating anywhere from 300 to 600 calories a day. And when they saw it, it was taken care of right then. There was no lapse. There was no, let's see how she does there. I mean, they came in like a fleet of soldiers.
Did I miss anybody? I got a little.
Yeah, it's just men were 15 to 1,800 calories, and then we would shake it up to go to 2,200 calories. Then we drop it back down to 1,500. Then we go to 11. Then we go back up to 18. Then we go to 22. We'd move it all over the place to try to trick our bodies. Women were usually around 1,100 to 1,500. So, but many people weren't eating those. They were eating. I know Lisa had complained like she wasn't eating enough. There was a lot of other people that weren't eating enough. So, but Jillian was like, she would literally say, stop working out, go to the kitchen and go eat. Like she would, so she really pushed for the calories. So because we would stop, if you notice, our first week, I lost 22 pounds. Second week, I actually gained 3 pounds. I was the first person to gain weight. I'm like, but we all slowed down. They also don't show you that I was also held out for being dehydrated, and they made me drink Gatorade, 3 full bottles of Gatorade in one day, and I couldn't work out for 3 days. That's why I gained weight. So Dr. Hyzanga sat me out. But Jillian was the one who was really moving her. I mean, I think she was in. I remember her showing a paper or something, again, 21 years ago, showing a paper saying, so I think she was in cahoots with Dr. Hyzanga with our calories, but she was the one telling me, so I'm going to say it was her. So, but she was all about eating the right amount of calories. So I was eating the right amount of calories. So I can't speak on anybody else.
Matthew, you brought
I'd like
up.
to say,
Oh, go ahead.
add a little more to that as far as she really was talking about food as fuel. I really got that, where I would like eat a little something, then I'd go work out. You feel the energy sort of leaving you, and then you'd get back at it with the food. It's just like eat, then work out, eat, work out. And, you know, I was only there, like I say, 10 days, but man, I really got the relationship between food and fuel for your body.
Mm-hmm.
So
I feel
Matthew,
like,
go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, I feel like the people that weren't there as long walked away with healthier relationships with their food. I feel like the longer you were on, the more competitive it became, the more gameplay it became, the more you had to tweak your numbers and your calories and do all of that because you were immersed. I felt like the people that left earlier, they had more success and they weren't as messed up in the head like some were in my season. But again, that was like a choice for us to be more competitive and do those competitive things, because the longer you're there, the more you want to win. I mean, it's a game show. I mean, there was a prize at the end.
And Ryan had oh, sorry. I know there's a delay. Sorry if I just chime in, but you know, Ryan, I knew him from LA after he was on season 1, and he had told me some of the things he had done that he had talked about on the recent documentary. And yeah, it's crazy what people will do because you have such a huge monetary motivator in place. You know, it's a whole nother level, right?
Yeah, I'm wondering. The next person brought up a good question. Did the producers try to create drama while you were there? And maybe this came in with the competitions, maybe it came in with the voting, maybe it came with the questions they were giving you. What do you guys think?
I think they tried.
Yeah.
Gina, go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to default to Chandra on some of this because the only thing that I'll speak about is on my season with Rob. I felt like that guy got I don't know. He was the nicest, most fun person in the house. Like, he's the lovable teddy bear. He's sweet. He's kind. And I felt like maybe they were pushing him so that they could push him up over the hill so he would have an awakening. But either way, we watched him being pushed and we're like, what are they doing? And he's screaming and he's yelling. And then when you saw it on TV, you're like, what the hell? That's not Rob. So I do feel like with him, they did that. But there again, sometimes when they push you to do something and you have your little episode, when you come out on the other side, you're different, you're better. That could have been it, but I did see that happen just that once on our show. Chandra, I don't know if you felt it or anything else.
I absolutely agree with Rob. That dude, hands down, one of the best men I've ever, sweetest, most respectful. And when I came home and was watching, I was like, what? Like, that's not Rob at all. So there, you know, the way that they cut and edit, it's TV. You have to make it enjoyable for people. But I would say, and Gina, I don't know if you remember when we were all kind of together in the house one night, like production came in and they were like, your guys' season is different than any other season. We were the only season to not have like virtually no drama. Like on screen, when the cameras were rolling, we were in teams, whatever. We were focused on our own team. We weren't like, you know, who cares what they're doing, which we were a season of athletes. So that's how we're trained, right? But on the other side of it, when those cameras were off or when we were by ourselves or, you know, all in the house in the evenings, whatever, like we were a big family and we're still like that. And like, they were like, you guys have no drama. Like there's nothing to even kind of nitpick at or like question in our interview. Like there's no drama. And we were just like, oh, I mean, I remember us all just kind of being like, sorry, like, I don't like, what do you want? They're just,
that sounds like the best season ever.
Hands down, God put me on that season because he knows I don't do drama, but they told us so many times, they're like, you guys are like all just one big family. And we're still like that. Like So no drama on our season 16. Sorry guys, best season. Sorry.
I said I wasn't going to talk, but I'm just going to say it. When I came back in, they plotted it against me and Jaren, and it was like Mean Girls against us, and it was nasty, and it was uncomfortable, and we were stuck together for months, and it was awful. And then they geared every single competition against Jaren and I. They were all political. They were trying to get us out. Even the people behind the scenes, they were falling in love with the people who'd been there the whole time, and it was just awful, the drama part. But anyway, Suzy, how about you? Was there any drama in your season?
Oh,
Created
for sure.
by the producers?
Oh, for sure. For sure. There was actually, so I think that they brought everyone on the show in a certain typecast. You know, they brought me as like the goody two shoes, little blonde, wholesome, like Americana. In fact, when I came on the show, I'm a hairdresser. So I had like, and this was 20 years ago, I had like this black streak of hair in my blonde, and underneath it was all blonde. Before the show, they bleached all that out because they wanted me to be totally blonde. Well, there was this whole situation on our season, and I was the center of it. Like the drama was all about something with me. But when it aired on TV, I was not even in the room. They filmed me on this side of the camera. Like, Bob was, talking to all of us girls, and I was nowhere. But it was actually all about me. So it was like they didn't want my little goody two-shoes, blonde Americana girl's reputation soiled by showing that they were all pissed at me. It ended up being not about me at all. So I think they do frame it how they kind of have a framework of how they want the episode to go. And yeah, the questions they ask you in the interviews, getting you to answer certain things, certain ways. Yeah, but that's their job. Like, they want to make it a good show. They want to, and we want that drama. Like, if it's too boring, I'm going to flip the channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruben, what's your thought on it?
Oh man. Well, I had, I had a thought about it, but there's so much that I had about it because I wasn't really accepted by the group, and I wasn't there long. So I think I lost the question. What is the question?
Did the producers create drama on your season?
Oh, yes. I feel like that they did. They had a lot of footage of me. You'd wake up in the morning, you see the camera across from you as you're stretching, and I'm like, oh, camera. You realize that there's cameras everywhere. And then you see it all in the final product when they air it, and it's like somebody saying, oh, Ruben, you were slacking. You were sleeping in your bed last night. And then they got that clip of me stretching, And so they try to portray you in a certain way in the story department, in the editing department. And honestly, I feel like that whatever drama they tried to create with me, they made me look pretty weak.
Matthew, how about you? I think I remember, did they rip up your cigarettes?
Oh my God, yeah. So, that wasn't that big of a deal, but I was smoking with one of the contestants on the balcony when Jillian and Bob pulled up for the first time. Like, we had not met them yet. There was no Jillian and Bob. I remember, I've always told this. When she walks in and is like, red team, get together. And I go, who the fuck is this bitch? I'm like, who's that? Who's that? I'm like, anyway. And that was what I said. Anyway, that's not on camera, but so she's like, who was that smoking? And again, I don't think this was on camera, but she's like, who was that smoking on the balcony? I was like, me. So yeah, she stole they held me back, ripped up my cigarettes, threw them, and I was like, I'll just go upstairs and get more. So she threatened to make everybody run a mile if they caught me with a cigarette. So I quit, and it's not that big of a deal. So I'm like, but I did make her let me keep a pack. I was like, because I had a whole carton. So I was like, I can't, if you take it away, I will figure out a way to get a cigarette. I was like, but if you just give me, I'm all about willpower. So I just needed a pack. It was never opened. I ended up throwing it away. I'm like, but just to have it in case I needed one, I was like, so she let me keep a pack. She's like, but if I'm going to check and if it's open, you're going to make everybody run a mile. It's going to be your fault. And I'm like, all right, whatever. I don't care. So, but I never did smoke then. It wasn't until years later, like about a year later, I ended up smoking again, but which I regret. But I'm smoke free now, so it's fine.
Awesome. Okay, my next question is spicy. Okay, so brace yourselves. I got to find out where it is. And I'm just going to go and say, before I got there, apparently people were hooking up. You know, you're together, you're sequestered, you're getting skinny, and people were hooking up. Did that happen on anybody else's season? Suzy?
Lord, no.
Okay, I will drop some tea. Okay, I wasn't involved. Matt didn't form his huge crush on me until the very end of the show. And I was a good little Christian girl who'd been saving myself. So I didn't even, it wasn't until the night before we went home that I was like, so are you going to kiss me or what? And the cameras were totally gone. But there was some fornication on my episode. I didn't find out until later when my now husband told me that they had a large closet, the men did, and it was used for multiple things.
Wasn't me. I was already gone. I was already gone.
You know, our closet was real small, so it wasn't our closet. Thank the Lord.
No, it was not our closet.
Did that happen on season 16 at all that you know of?
Gosh, no, I'm going to tell you 100% did not. It would, I mean, we were all like brother, sister. Like it was like, we would loved each other like family. Like there was none of that. Like, not that I knew of.
Not that I know. They even asked me, like, is there anybody that's like interested in anybody else? And I was like, you want me, like, kiss my brother? Like, we were brothers and sisters from the jump. Like, it was, if there was, I have no knowledge of it and nobody's ever spoke about it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Matthew, do you know of any of that when you were there at all? I mean, it would have had to happen kind of quick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gay, so I mean, nobody else was really gay, so I wasn't hooking up with anybody. But I will say though, I'm sure you guys said the same thing, is that when people would mic you, the mic guys always got hit on because people would be like, "Ooh, nobody's touched me on my own," because they'd be putting their hands up their shirts and stuff. So everybody would always be like, you know, the mic guys always got hit on. So, but nothing ever happened. There was some stuff that I heard about of people that I'm not going to, because they were in relationships and stuff, so I'm not going to say anything, but I heard some stories from other contestants about people, and so I'm not going to say anything because that's not my place. But yes, I did hear that there was a couple people that did stuff.
That is funny. Our mic guy was really hot.
Ours was
He
too.
was. I can still see his face and his dark hair.
But you're not around anybody, so of course I was like, I mean, yeah, no, nothing ever happened, but it was just cute to flirt, and they were all fun about it anyway. Now you get canceled, but yeah, but back then it was just fun.
Yeah.
Okay, if you guys could go back and sorry, Ruben, did I let you talk? I think I did.
That's okay. I mean, it's all right. We can move on.
Sorry, Ruben. If you guys could go back and do it again, would you do it again? And P.S. Go Blue Team from Taylor Haddon.
That's my daughter. Of course I would do it again. I would do it again. Oh my God, I would be so much better. I would be so much more strategic.
Me too.
I will tell you, Scott Mitchell, that was on my team, he was sequestered in my room one time because anyway, y'all know the drill. How you have to vote people off, and so people have to go in each other's rooms. And he wrote on my mirror, he put "Find Your Edge." I don't know what the hell he meant. I did not know what he meant until probably a couple of months ago. I never understood what that meant because I was on there with a bunch of athletes. Like, they were amazing athletes. I mean, I was a cheerleader. Yes, I was an athlete. We lifted the athletes. I understand that, but I did not play a game like they played. Do you know what I mean? Like, they know how to play a game and be strategic. And I never knew what that meant. So if I could go back and do it, oh my God, I would be so good. I'll go back. Chandra, are you going to go back with me?
Oh, hell yes. Sorry, mom and dad. Yeah, hands down. And I think my biggest thing during my time there was that, okay, so I have this tattoo. This is the warrior symbol. If you guys remember David Brown from season 15, that is in honor of him and some things that he was like a fan of mine the day I met him in the casting call thing. Anyway, everybody kept telling me, you got to find yourself. And I'm like, if you know me at all, I'm like, I know who I am. Like, I am unapologetically me, right? And I didn't understand until the blue team kicked me off what that meant. And it was, I was secure in who I was, but I had no self-confidence, right? And so that's a main thing that the show gave me. I didn't find that until after I left. If I could go back and do it again, 100%, like, I don't care about anything. Everybody, y'all are on your own. My job can take a hike. Like, I'm there. I have a whole idea for how the show needs to come back too. So
Me too.
Me too.
I'm ready.
Suzy, would you come back?
I am way too old. No. Now, I don't regret it. I'm so glad I did it. I wouldn't change a thing. But if they said, do you want to come back on today? I'd be like, these knees can't handle it. I've got stuff going on. No, it was great for the season of life I was in as like a single 29-year-old. But now I'm almost 50. I've got kids. And yeah. I mean, I just went on a hike with my son today. And I died. I'm dead right now. I'm like, I could not, I don't know how we did that. Like, I don't know how I was 29. That's how I did it. But so yes, no, not today.
Ruben,
I
how
sent
about
my
you?
husband
Yep.
so he could win some money, but not me.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a hypothetical. I probably would say yes, but it's not like I had some, great long experience there. I felt like it gave me the kick in the ass that I needed, and I've been doing that ever since, as far as like trying to stay ahead of the game and just keep my weight down. And my weight's less than it was when I went on the show, and I feel good, and it's good enough. I don't think that if offered an opportunity, I would necessarily do it again, but I might. It's hypothetical.
Matthew?
Absolutely. In fact, I had my husband during COVID, we tried out for he tried out for the new version, like the season 1 of the new Biggest Loser or whatever. And they had they had brought me on and talked to me possibly about coming back. So, and then COVID happened and the show got canceled. So I don't know if that would have turned out or not. Who knows? But yeah, I would have totally. In fact, when they asked me, I even said, I thought we weren't eligible. I thought we couldn't go back. So, and she's like, well, we've been talking within, the network about that, and that they were thinking about doing, like, I guess, I don't know if a comeback one, or I don't know how that would have worked out, but it didn't work. It didn't end up happening. So that's fine. But yeah, I would have gone back. Absolutely. Because I would do things differently. Being on season 1, we didn't even know what the show would look like. We literally were saying when we were there, they better not be making fun of us. Like, we were like, this better be a legit show, because when we went on, it was called the Weight Loss Reality Show. So it wasn't called The Biggest Loser. It was possibly going to be The Biggest Loser. They didn't know anything at the time. It wasn't even picked up yet. So we found out when it was picked up, and that we were going to be on Thursday nights, and that this new show, The Office, was going to be coming in after us. So we found out later we were going to be like replacing Friends. So like that, we found all this stuff later. Like, again, we didn't know who Jillian was. I didn't know what this show would look like. I didn't know what any of this stuff was going to be. And so I wish I could go back, and now knowing what the show was, like, we didn't know anything. I didn't know it was going to, they kept promising us, we promise, JD would say, I promise it's going to be inspirational. You're going to love it. It's going to be an amazing show. We really want to showcase and really have you inspire people. And we're like, yeah, but that was around the time that Marry a Midget and stuff was on. And like, we were like, I don't know. We were all saying the day that we were weighing in for the first day, we're like, when they're like, okay, everybody take off your clothes, we're like, yo, we're about to step on a scale and there's a camera. Like, and I'm in practically in my skivvies. I'm like, this better be a legit show. So like, I swear to God, all of us were like standing there going, this, and they're like, we're gonna dunk you and we're gonna measure you and we're like, I remember all of us being so scared. That was to this day, that is the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to do, was stand in front of everybody on that scale that day, because I've never been more embarrassed in my life. So that was because, again, you guys, and I think that's so cool. I love that you guys all knew what the show was, knew who Jillian was, knew what the premise was going to be. I'm like, we were like, they better make this look legit. Like, this better be a good show. So yeah,
You were
we
the
had no idea.
trailblazer,
So,
bro. You were the trailblazer.
Yeah,
it was
I
really
would
cool,
love
and I love that. I do love that about it, but it was scary. It was very scary.
I would love to know if the trainers were there very often, because it looks like it changed over time. It looks like they were.
Yeah.
By season 3, they were like never there. And then what happened in season 16? I would love to hear you guys were the trainers there, or were you on your own pretty much every day? Gina.
Oh, you mean my trainer, Damian Woody, and the blue team? Just kidding. We had no trainers. No. Jesse was there when we had to tape, but otherwise he wasn't there. I love Jesse. Great person, but he wasn't there.
Who's Jesse?
Jesse was
Go look him up. He's very handsome.
He's so handsome and he's so nice. And listen, he's probably a really good trainer, but this is Hollywood. And, he wasn't there. We were on our own. But I really think, looking back on it, during the time
I feel like I need to Google this. Who's Jesse?
You should look him up.
Go look it up.
Jesse Pavelka. But I think it was okay, because with him not being there, we just bonded as a team. And you just automatically know who your team leader is, and you know what each other's strengths are. And we just kind of found a team. And I think that might have helped us, because we also didn't have coaches in there pitting us against each other. Mm-hmm. We would jump on the white team's workout, whatever they were doing. He was there a lot. Told you. I love you, husband.
Girl, I couldn't. Oh, my husband will love him too. Don't worry. Anyway,
he's cute.
I guarantee you, he's Googling him right now.
Did you guys have blackout trainers? Because I was in the middle where there was no blackout trainer. It was just us and the guy that had all the tape, Sandy.
Yeah, we were there with the trainers, like the RPT people or whatever, and they would help us out. But Jen would be there, so Jen would let us kind of jump on her training stuff. Dolvet would send a trainer in every now and then, and so we would jump in on his. But for the most part, we did what Damien told us to do. We just kind of made him our captain.
Yeah, I have to second that, because if I said anything about the show, I can't even say anything about the show. Jesse's good to look at, but he also came from Extreme Weight Loss UK, where he had, like, he even told us, he apologized to us. He had a year with one contestant losing weight gradually over time. And so, like, that first week we lost the first weigh in, blue team had the first member to go home. And he was like, guys, I failed you. Like, and he was like, this is the background I come from. I'm so sorry. Like, we've got to kick things into high gear. And it was like, okay, great. And then he was never there. And Damien was always, he was like, we call ourselves, it was Damien and his dimes, because he was always just the one that kept us going, kept us motivated. Girls, he was the only boy on the blue team. Girls, you got to get up. Girls, it's time to go. Girls, let's go work out. Girls, what are you doing? Girls, this was after I left, but like, let you guys paint his fingernails and stuff too, or something like that. And Damien was our trainer. Damien was our coach. The athletic trainers that were there, Alicia, Smitty, Kelly, they came and worked out with us. Like, they were there all the time. They totally supported us, had our backs. They were there all the time. I think there was days they weren't even like getting paid to be there. They were there. Like, I remember that too. Jesse was there if the cameras were there. I don't remember. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me, but that is what I remember. And I left I made it right to the middle.
You all had like teams.
Mid-year testing.
We were teams the
You
entire
had like
time.
workout teams.
We did.
Yeah, we were teams the entire
Everything
time.
together.
We had to go up a sand dune that I will never forget. And we chose our trainer. I was the last one up, or Jesus, but people were lining the streets yelling, "Go 341," because our weight was really big and red on our shirts. I was the last one up, and I got to the top, and there was one spot left, and Jessie was my trainer. I was looking for Jillian. That's who I wanted. But yeah, she wasn't there. So I did choose Jessie. Jessie chose me. The team chose me for Jessie.
I don't know Jess
season,
either, but
go for
ahead,
it,
Suzy.
go ahead. Go
my
ahead,
season.
Suzy.
My season was the beginning before anybody was famous, and so Bob was there like every day, hanging out with us. Camera on days, camera off days. He would show up, bring his dogs. Like I said, he'd just be sitting in our room, hanging out, like girl talk with us. And yeah, he was always around. And yeah, I can't imagine it another way. We didn't have like down day trainers. We didn't have that. Bob was our trainer. So
Yeah, same thing with Jillian and Bob.
Ruben, what do you say?
I wasn't there long. So what I experienced from Jillian was my trainer. I realized that it was a TV show. She would show up and, start yelling and take us through the workout and everything like that. But I understood that it was TV and that she really wasn't that way as a person. She's a lot nicer. And, maybe that's her style of training in real life. But I feel like that she sort of was embellishing upon it for the show.
Yeah,
100.
I'll speak on that too. Like, I'm gonna speak on that. So you're right, Ruben. I'm like, she would literally, we would know when it was a camera day because she would warn us like, hey, it's a camera day. And we're like, oh, great. So, because you knew that she was going to be like 110%. So, but there was literally like, there's times when you could even see when we'd be working out and she'd be like, get down, monkey. She's like, I'm sorry, I have to do this. All right, Maddie, get up. Like, and I'd be like, oh my God. Like, anyway, but then she'd be like, I love you. Just, but so she'd be like really nice and sweet and like talk to you and be really caring. But if there was a camera day, you knew you got the special Jillian. You got the TV Jillian. Yeah. So there was TV Jillian and then there was Jillian. But I will tell you,
for sure,
I love Suzy, you're right about like Bob would just go chill. They would chill out. They'd all be talking and hanging out. Jillian was the type that, like, that saying, like, if there's time to lean, there's time to clean. Yeah, she wouldn't just chill. It'd be like, all right, well, since we're just standing here, why don't we do some, like, mountain climbers? Or why don't we do some, like, if you're just standing there talking, like, all right, let's do something while we're standing here. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Since you guys brought it up, I want to know what your thoughts are on the documentary and how it painted each person. It painted Dr. H pretty good, but it also painted Dr. H against the trainers. It painted an ugly light on Jillian. And I was recently watching Entertainment Tonight did a follow-up, and I actually really liked the follow-up. It kind of made me fall in love with Bob a little, although in real life, Bob did not want anything to do with me. So what are your real thoughts on the trainers and Dr. H? And like you just shared, Matthew, if you could get any more of that dirt of like, what were they really like? Were they super mean and rude and screaming at you all the time? Or were they kind and loving? Did you have a relationship? And I know we kind of just went into this, Gina, with how you guys didn't really see Jessie that much, but go ahead.
Yeah. Well, so I love Jessie, and Jessie was so nice to us, and he was almost too nice. I will be honest, I wanted Jillian. So when I went to that show, I was prepared for her to jump out of that thing that, whatever. But it's okay. I loved the trainers, but he was very nice. He was very sweet. He was very kind. I was on the season I was supposed to be on. You know what I mean? It worked for me, but he was so nice. He never yelled at us. And I rewatched episode 1 of our season last night, and I just was dying laughing because I felt like it was so fake because it was so not Jessie. And I haven't watched our season since 10 years ago or whenever it aired. And I just was laughing because I was like, oh, this is so horrible. He was trying to be mean and he can't. He's so fake. And it was so fake. And he had no idea what he was doing as far as TV goes because he's so authentic outside of TV. Do you know what I mean? So the TV and him, I don't think it did him well. But and the whole thing with Dr. Hazinga and our trainers, I think I had new trainers that year, and so they had corrected anything that had happened previous because everybody seemed to get along perfect. Hazinga ran in once whenever someone was running on the treadmill. We had on those tights that are what were they called? Skins. And they were, you should not put fat people in skins and then make them run on a treadmill for the first time ever in 20 years. And so we're running on the treadmill and people are passing out and he runs in there and says, get this damn thing off of them, and is cutting it off of people. Like, he was mad. But that was the only thing that I ever saw where they disagreed on anything. Everything else was very harmonious. Yeah.
Matthew does not agree. I will second that. I truly think that I can only speak for my season and my time on the show, but I hear people's experiences and things and I'm like, our season was not like that at all. Like, I'm calling the girls, the guys, I'm like, you guys were in our Facebook group. Do you guys remember this? Was it like that? Everybody's like, no. So I second everything that Gina says. It's funny. Jesse, he was too nice. He was too loving. I was ready for my dad was my coach growing up. You cannot be harder on me than my dad was. And then I was on myself. I was ready for someone to get in my face and make me mad so that the energy I burned was to keep them kicking their butt, But Dr. Huizenga, hands down, was an angel. If you guys go watch season 16, episode 1, me in that sand dune, he was laying in the sand next to me. You never see him. You never hear him. He was laying in the sand next to me, cheering me on. Chandra, left foot, right foot. And then you hear the whole, you hear the cast and you hear Dolvet and all the trainers yelling, left foot, right foot, now breathe. Dr. Huizenga started that. Dr. Huizenga was there when I needed him, when I didn't know I needed him. He just seemed like he was always there, taking care of us. And I never witnessed, like Gina said, we had 2 new trainers, right? Bob was there at comeback, and I hands down love Bob too. He was there for the people. He was not, of course he was there for the show, but he would pull you aside and talk to me. He helped me make that connection, the whole find yourself thing. He helped me make that connection. But as far as Dr. Huizenga goes, I love that man. Love that man, would wash his feet given any opportunity. Love that man.
Ooh, I don't know about that. All right.
I'd like to wash that great hair.
Oh my
Hey,
God.
I can give a massage. He has some great hair.
He does.
Yeah, good hair.
Suzy,
Good
your
hair.
thoughts?
So, to be honest, Dr. Huizenga was like a stumbling block in my road because I was really competitive and I didn't want him messing up my game at all. So I didn't have very much contact with him. He gave me an inhaler because I was exercise-induced asthma. So he was my inhaler dealer. That was about it. I did in the documentary, I felt like I saw a little. Can you guys hear a baby crying?
Yeah, but it's not bad.
My neighbor's baby's crying. Sorry.
That's your neighbor's baby? Oh.
I'm in a greenhouse right now. So, I thought the documentary showed more of Dr. Huizenga's heart, which I love to see because I didn't want to know his heart. I was like, get out of my way. You're messing up my game. I feel like the documentary showed Bob how I knew him when he was my trainer on the show. I was one of his favorites. We were BFFs, but I also
You were
knew
everybody's favorite.
Stop. I also knew that as soon as there was another one of his favorites, I was chump change. He was on to the next season. And that's how it was. So I always kind of felt bad when I could see he had a little favorite on the show. I was like, girl, this is lasting your season and then it's over. But again, and the more he went on, the more famous he became. And the show really painted him like the good guy and Jillian the bad guy. And I feel like the documentary showed more of he's just normal, can be a little catty, can be a little mean girls, let's go gossip on the bed, to be honest, which, hey, I was always on his good side, so I loved it, back in those days, I loved me a little mean girl gossip, to be honest. Okay. And Jillian, she was only mean when the cameras were on. So when the cameras were off, she was annoying because, like, one time she trained me cameras off, and she was like, "So Suzy, I want you to try really hard, sweetie." And I was like, "Do you see? Do you see I'm still here? Like, get out of my face!" Because she was just too like, "Can girls do this? Are you okay?" And there weren't cameras around for that. And that I remember so irritated. I was like, "I can train myself. You can leave because you're not pushing me hard enough. You're not." So it's totally the opposite of what she was portrayed on the show. I think I think she's making a mountain out of a molehill. Like, she's making the documentary all about her, and it wasn't.
It's working.
I think, like, who cares? Like, it's not about you. So you did give caffeine pills. Like I said, we drank coffee and Diet Right like 24/7. Like, there was caffeine everywhere during my season. So I'm like, what's the big deal? She's pulling up all these emails, and first of all, I'm like, you're boring me. Okay, be done. That was way more than my 2 cents. That was like 25 cents worth. So you're welcome.
There's a lot that could be said.
Yeah. Say it.
Well,
Say it.
Don't
Go
keep
ahead,
it.
Ruben, your turn.
What are we talking about again? I mean, about
What
the
is your
series, the
thought
series.
on the trainers and
Okay.
Dr. H and how they've been portrayed versus how you actually experienced them?
You know, my experience, no one really knows. Suzy will probably remember. We're sitting around in the gym that day waiting for the first shoot before we met Bob and Jillian, and it was so boring. They had some rotten fruit for us, and it was really kind of bad. We didn't have anything to eat. We're all kind of hungry, and so we're in the gym. And I thought, well, I'll get a workout. So I got a workout, and I knew how to work out, and so I was pretty tired. But then they put us through a workout where I was just reduced to nothing. You know, and the tears were coming, and this is when Matt was working out with us, and we were all like very emotional. And then I went to get my blood drawn the next day, and Doc Huizenga said that I was using muscle for fuel, and that it was a dangerous situation. And so then they held me out. And then I feel like that what was portrayed to me in the series was sort of a disconnect between Dr. Huizenga and the trainers as far as what was really going on with me from my experience. And then so then it made me think that, well, maybe they, you know, Dr. Huizenga is a doctor. Maybe he has like a negative attitude toward, trainers. Maybe you think, oh, they don't know as much as me, so I don't have to clue them in. I'm the doctor of the show. I'm going to say what's going. But I feel like that he didn't let Jillian and my team know what was going on with me. And not that I feel like he had to, because honestly, I really liked the man, and I think he was great. I went to a great party at his house when Eddie Money played. I saw my friend who was the drummer, Chris. Shout out to Chris. He's now with Foreigner. I think he's still with Foreigner. Chris, how you doing, buddy? Anyway, but overall, I thought that the other people that they featured, the other contestants, I like getting some more, exposition on who they were and their experience, and just to hear all the different experiences that they had and what they went through. I didn't even know that stuff about Tracy. I'd spent time with Tracy at various reunions and things like that. She didn't even ever tell me about that. So that was kind of an eye opener. But I think overall, I like that, Dr. Huizenga did come off looking good. I don't think Jillian necessarily looks bad. She's up to what she's up to, and whatever. I'm not going to judge it.
Matthew?
Dr. Huizenga, I mean, we went to his office a couple times, but he didn't really have a lot of interaction with us. Like, he interacted more with the trainers and stuff. So I really liked him. He was very nice. He was so helpful. He did a lot. I talked to Dr. Huizenga more after I left the show. He would call every couple months and check in because he was writing a paper on us or something. So, but he was wonderful after. I got to know him more after the show than during on it. I will say is that watching the documentary, and Bob was Bob. That was Bob. Yeah, what you see on there, that's totally just Bob all the time. So so he's the same on camera as off camera. Jillian, like, yeah, I will say this is that she has been fighting with them since season 1. Like, they really have, and I'm not sticking up for her or anything. I'm just giving you what she actually personally told me, as how these producers, they have it out for me. They're trying to make me the villain. She's like, F that. I'm gonna be my own person, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it my way, and they can go stick it where the sun don't shine. They're not paying me enough, and blah blah blah. Anyway, but she's been talking like that since season 1. So all of that, when I even saw JD on there and all that, and I thought JD was wonderful. I'm sure you guys could say the same thing. I thought he was great. So not talking anything negative about them, but she and the producers did not get along. She didn't like Dr. Huizenga back then because he was contradicting, or not contradicting, but they were just going head to head against each other. She wanted to do this, he wanted them to do that. The producers would step in. She would be complaining all the time. So this is off camera, not on camera, obviously. So this doesn't surprise me at all. And the fact that she was keeping emails, I'm sure she did it on purpose because she knew she was going to be having to protect herself. I think that's why she left the show a couple times. Like, doesn't surprise me. Again, I'm like, she's always kind of been painted that way, but she also played the part. So I don't really feel that bad for her at the same time. So I, again, have nothing but nice things to say, other than she kind of same thing with the show. Never heard from her again. Considering we were so cool on the show, and then it was like, bye. So that's the only negative thing I'd have to say. I actually liked her style of training when we were just talking about that. Like, you guys, like Chandra and Gina, that you were saying that, like, the Jesse or whatever, that that calm and that loving and that I need somebody to tell me to get the hell down. Like, so it was kind of perfect for me. I need somebody to beat me up, because otherwise I'm like, I'll just be like, I'll just figure out a way to get out of it or something. So she'd be like, no, shut up, sit down. Like, I'm like, I need that. So I've actually, when I've gotten a trainer, even after the show, I've literally said, like, I need a Jillian. So if you're not a Jillian, I need a Jillian. So, but nobody's Jillian. I'm not gonna lie. She's her own brand. And to be honest, what she's doing right now kind of is on her brand. So she's always going to be on the defense. It's always somebody else's fault. So that's Jillian. But I do love her.
And where the heck does she get those emails from? I can't even find an email I sent last week, let alone like 20 years ago. I'm like,
but also,
what archive are you going in, girl? Yeah.
What platform is she using? Because mine seems to just kind of wipe stuff away, and I really need it, and it's gone. That's crazy. Okay, so this is going to be totally different, because we have so many different seasons that I know that this is not going to be the same answer for everyone. And that is, was your mental health a priority while filming? Did the producers make it a point to make sure that you had the support the way that you needed it? So let's actually go backwards, and let's start with Matthew.
I don't think so. Not really. I mean, they'd ask you, "Are you doing okay?" And they on all the questions and the what is that called? The when you go in the room and talk, the confessional. It would ask questions, but no, not at all.
Wait, real quick, I want to ask. Did they have, when you got voted off, did they have the black SUV and you open the door and there's this mysterious man in there who turns out to be a psychologist? That was the only time that, as far as the show is concerned, that I saw a psychologist.
I got some minivan with some ugly person inside. I don't know who are you getting in, but it was no. I don't know. I'm not an ugly person. I'm just saying. I will say though is no psychology. I mean, we got therapy stuff prior to getting onto the show, and we had the Briggs Briggs-Meyer test or whatever. We had that done. We had a lot of mental stuff prior to the show, but afterwards, like when I say they pretty much were like peace out, it was peace out. Like when I say, I'm sure you guys know the same thing too, is when you say goodbye on that show, I'm like, that was the last. They pack your bags for you. I didn't even pack my bag. They left my hair dryer there. So I'm like, believe me, 21 years later, I'm still pissed about my hair dryer. So I was like, where's my hair dryer? Anyway, no, it was very no mental health checks, or not that I'm aware of or anything. But no. So no. What did you say about the truck or something with somebody in it? No. What? I don't know
Maybe
what
they
that
only
is.
called that guy when they were like really like the suicide. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. Oh my gosh. If it was a person who was really struggling because they were getting voted off, maybe they called that person, and so that's why they called him for me. Because I was like, my life this is ruining my life. I can't believe you guys just voted me off.
No, but I will tell you this though. To this day, it still sucks because I possibly could have won, because I was Biggest Loser like 3 weeks out of the 4 weeks I was there, and there was no yellow line. I'm like, they got the yellow line because Aaron and I, who were the Biggest Losers, we were winning and they kicked us off. So they were like, I remember the night that I was leaving, no truck came for me. But anyway, but I was sitting outside waiting for my bags to come, and they literally were like, you're not supposed to be going home. And I said, I'm like, I know, like, I believe in things happen for a reason and whatever. And she's like, you're not supposed to be going home. And I was like, why? What does that mean? Are you going to bring me back? What does that mean? Like, what are you trying to say? She's like, no, I can't say anything, but you're not supposed to be going home. So she was like, things will change. And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know what the heck that meant. And then watching the show, like I think it was the next episode, game changer. Now there's immunity. I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, so yeah, there was no yellow line, pardon me. And one of the reasons why they think the yellow line showed up is because Aaron got kicked off first, and then I got, well, not first, but he got kicked off right before me, and then they came for me. So I'm like, and then it was like, yeah, that's not how the game's supposed to be played. So that is one thing I did not like about the show, is the popularity contests and the strategies. I wish they would just get rid of that like they did on the other version, and just whoever's the least amount is who goes home. So that kind of sucked.
Ruben, do you feel like your mental health was supported on the show?
Sorry, yeah.
Not really. I don't really feel like it was. I mean, I didn't see, any real evidence of that. But, I feel like Jillian was really trying to coach me up a little bit to try to fit in with others, because I was the first one eliminated. I had to stay sequestered in a hotel for about a month. And I was eliminated the night of my birthday. So my birthday was the very night that I was eliminated. And so
they didn't send you home?
They didn't send me home. I was at the that hotel in the region, what was it? So that one right there in Manhattan Beach toward the 405. And
the Ayers Hotel?
I stayed there for a month. Yeah, Ayers Hotel. Thank you. I stayed there for a month before I got to go home. And at least at the time, my girlfriend, I was so worried that they weren't going to let me see her, but they let her visit me at the hotel, and then we could get room service and all that stuff. So I was eating room service and, Chipotle and everything right around that area. They had a chaperone with me at all times to go anywhere. I could not go anywhere by myself. I had to go with low-level producer or whoever they had in charge of me, a woman named Lucy, I think. And, she was my companion. Every time I went to the gym, I had to be with somebody, because it couldn't get out that I had been the one eliminated, because, it's supposed to be a surprise. So they have to eliminate several other people before they'll let you go.
They sent me home.
Yeah. Well, you lasted longer. I was the first one gone. The secret can't get out that, because they tape it months before they actually air it. So
I did not know they sequestered you. That's crazy. What was the question we're supposed to be answering?
Do you feel that your mental health was supported? I was just listening to Olivia and Hannah, and they were saying that at any time they could call a therapist and have therapy. Was that something offered to you?
No. We met with some Dr. Hogan or something before the show. He asked us a few questions to make sure we weren't crazy, which, you know, easy to fool. I fooled him. Just kidding. And then, no, it was never brought up on the show. But I always tell people this show was a weight loss competition show called The Biggest Loser. It was not, let's get your head right about your eating issue show. So, like, I knew what I was going on for. I don't have the expectations like they should have done that at all. In my mind, the people that are like, they should have, blah, blah, blah. I don't have that. I'm like, I could go pay a counselor. I could go talk to eating people. We were a commodity for them. And especially back 20 years ago, it was like, that's when they were just transitioning from paying actors to having free people do their reality shows. So we were like cheap labor for them. But I will say the producers, I felt like behind the scenes, they always really cared about us. But also their primary focus was their job and their show, you know. But when this whole documentary came out, Matt and I both reached out to like 3 of the producers that we worked with and just said, you know, thank you for doing this show. Thank you for creating this show. It changed the forever trajectory of our lives. I mean, I wouldn't be married to my husband. I wouldn't have my kids. Like, I wouldn't be who I am because it was such a foundational building block in my life. So, but that wasn't the question you asked. But no mental health. But I don't feel like it was their job too. So, because I was on a game show. It's like if you go play bingo and you lose, is the lady calling the bingo balls supposed to counsel you? No. If you got such a problem, go find help after.
Can I just throw something in here? But first of all, just remember, I'm Suzy's super fan. I don't know what's going on with our feed. Sorry. But she has never even mentioned that she was actually interviewed for the documentary and they just didn't put her, she was just too nice. So they didn't put her stuff in there. You're just like the most humble, sweet person in real life.
Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah. Or I was hoping you were going to say, do you want to be friends? Because the answer is yes.
I'm sorry. Do you want to be friends? I feel like we are.
No, I'm just joking. For sure. Tell us about what it was like to film that documentary. Was it like a year ago?
Yeah, it was over a year ago. A producer reached out to Matt and I to ask us if they were doing a documentary. I am like a documentary, I almost said whore, but I'm like a junkie. Like, I love documentaries. So they told me the other documentaries that they did. And so definitely red flags went up because I'm like, oh, you burned them bad. But I was like, I'll talk to you. We did some Zoom interviews with them. And they were like, yeah, we want to fly you and Matt down to LA. They flew us to LA for 2 nights. Basically, we got a free vacation on them because they flew us down there. They put us up in a hotel. And being married almost 19 years, having at the time, a 16 and a 17-year-old, I was like, I'll go talk to anybody, you know, for a free trip. So we went down there. We did a whole day of interviews, makeup, hair, outfits, all of that jazz. And as we were doing the interviews, I didn't like it at all because I could tell that they were really like fishing for stuff. They wanted information that I wasn't going to give them. First of all, also they had us send like a huge FedEx box of all of our VHS tapes of our season, any press that we did, any magazines that we did, family photos. We just sent like this huge box. So they had those kind of like on the table, and they started out the interview really sweet. They wanted to hear about our, you know, love story, our family. They had us watch like when we got engaged on the Today Show, you know, and they captured our emotions and all that stuff. And then they they were fishing so hard. They wanted to know, they brought up the caffeine pills. They brought up each producer's name, and they wanted to know dirt on them. They wanted dirt on, just any rumor you can think of. And I kept like elbowing my husband, like, don't give them an inch, because if you give them 5 words, they might take these 3 out and use it, So I was monitoring what I said, because I had a great experience. Like, yeah, was there weird, was there crap on the show? Yeah, but I'm an adult, and like, I can move on from it. Like, I don't know. I didn't have so much trauma and drama and blah, 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 blah. So we get done with the interview, and they had like a little page person take us back to the hotel. And it's so weird. I remember we were walking. It felt like slow motion. We were walking into the hotel, and I was like, I feel so gross. I said, I don't think that this is going to be a very like good documentary. I said, I feel like they're looking for dirt. I go, we've already signed the papers. We already told them they could use our story, but I was so uncomfortable, to be honest. I was like, I didn't like that. In fact, we ended up going to a comedy show that night, because I was like, we got to get out of this hotel. Like, I felt like dirty after it. So fast forward, they kept calling us for more info, asking us more questions. Hey, do you have this stuff? Could you send us this? We need a current family picture, all of it. Fast forward to the day that the documentary, trailer came out. The day before, the producer is calling me. And I was on a road trip with my son for a lacrosse tournament. So we're cruising up the California coast. And the producer's like, I need to talk to you today. So I end up calling him the next morning. And he just said, I have some really bad news. You guys were cut out of the documentary. And I said, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. And he's like, wait, what? And I said, to be honest, I felt so uncomfortable. I said, I feel like I know the direction you're going, and that's not our story. And I was really nervous you were going to use something we said to go that direction. And he was like, are you sure you're not mad? Is there anything you need to get off your chest? Like, by the end of the conversation, I was counseling the producer, like, it's okay. It's not a problem. Like, I said, really, you need to not be so upset about this. Like, so he said he had several other people to call, and he had been chewed out. And so it actually, like, it was a blessing we weren't on it. And then when I watched it, the way they angled the camera, they made everyone look huger than they are. And especially in, like, this journey that I'm on right now with the gastric sleeve, I was like, oh, Lord. If they would have filmed me up like that and the thigh angle that they gave everybody, that would not have been good for my mental health to see myself looking like that. So I was like, double blessing that we weren't on it. But hey, we got a free vacation out of it, 2 nights away from our kids. And, they didn't pay us for the documentary, but they paid for everything while we were gone. And I turned in every receipt. Let me tell you, Starbucks at the airport turned it in. So it was literally like a free 2-night trip to LA. So, did that even answer your question? I forgot what I was supposed to be talking about.
Thank you for just giving us that little piece, because I don't know if anybody else here was interviewed, but it's just nice to know a little bit behind the scenes of there's 382 of us. And they had like 6 people on the documentary. I think 1 or 2 of the people weren't even necessarily on the show. And so they were kind of wondering, like, where did they decide? How did they decide? And, but the pieces that they picked, I think, depicted the way that they wanted it to. So it all makes sense what they did.
But if it was all positive, if it was all
Chandra,
positive, that wouldn't be good either. That's not good TV either. So I'm like, I knew that they were going to make it more negative than positive.
Yeah.
I appreciate they addressed some of the issues and that they admitted that some of those things were actually real. Because I've always wondered about this drug thing. I mean, all we were given, it was food and exercise and sunlight. But Okay, so Gina and Chandra, I would love to know though, when on your season, did you guys have the thing where you could call a therapist anytime you wanted?
Oh, I felt like we did.
After the show or during the show?
Oh.
After the show?
After or during?
After or during the show?
Time. None of that was a thing early season.
Okay.
So was that offered to you at all? And did you have the mystery man in the van like I did?
No, because we went to
Who is
Comeback
this
Canyon.
man?
Our season was Comeback Canyon. So when we thought we were going home, we actually went to Comeback Canyon and Bob opened the door. Remember? So when we were voted off that part, we already knew we were about to go home. Do you know what I mean? So we didn't have the exit like y'all had.
Yeah, we had the exit of drive around forever and ever. We'll sit in the car forever and ever and ever, and then drive around forever and ever and ever. And then, okay, we're here. And you could not see out of those windows at all. And then they pull up, and then Bob opens the door and he says, "Hi, Chandra." And I was like, that is the voice I've been waiting to hear. Where is this man? And then I was like, wait, why are you here? Why are you greeting me at the airport? We're not at an airport. There's dirt and there's trees and there's lights. I don't know what's going on. But okay, so mental health part. I felt like we did. Because I know Dr. Hogan, they said, was always on call, always like on standby, whatever. But I know he came and met with me every week. And what I think is really, I thought it was that way for everybody. I don't know. I guess I just assumed because that's what was happening with me. But he met with me every week. And the odd part about that is he had told me from the jump, he was like, if you're not selected for the show, it's because you're way too easygoing. And he's like, because there's nothing wrong with you. Like, you don't have these big traumas. You don't have a lot of like stuff like around your weight that you like traumatic stuff around your weight. He's like, you're just really overweight and you want help. And I'm like, yeah, sorry, I'm normal. Like, I don't know. And he was like, you're just really easygoing. And that's probably why you may not get chosen. And then like, I met with him once a week. And I remember at Comeback Canyon, like we were taking a break and they were like, hey, Dr. Hogan's going to be here for you in a little bit. And I'm like, okay. And we had to like spend an hour together once a week. Literally, I was kicked back in my bed. He was sitting in the chair. We were watching the movie Gravity with what's her name, Sandra, but whatever. Anyways, it had like just came out or was playing or something. I don't know. And he was like, anything. Like, he kept trying to talk to me. I was like, dude, I'm chilling. Like, as long as I can eat and as long as I can work out, like I am good. So I felt like we had him because they would say, if you need him, like, let us know. I don't know. Maybe they thought I needed help. And so that's why they were telling me. I don't know.
That was not my experience. I did not have any of that. And in fact, I felt like the whole time I was with Dr. Hogan, who I really like. I like everybody on the show. But you're sequestered in a hotel for 2 to 3 weeks before you get on the show. So you have to see him like every couple of days. And everybody would go up there and I'm sure have a session. But every time I was up there, I just let him talk to me. I know everything about him. I know what he fishes for. I know his friends. I listened to him more than he listened to me. It was just conversation back and forth.
That's why you don't know.
Look who's sane. Look who got less psychology stuff. Me.
I just want to just throw a little thing in there that I honestly don't think that the DSM or the testing that they did before actually disqualified you. Like you were saying, Chandra, I think it might actually be a plus the more of a nut job you are.
Yeah. No, and I'm like, if you're looking
99% of the Biggest Loser alumni are very sane, kind people, but they needed some drama.
Mm-hmm.
They did.
Yeah,
And
quite
that's
a few.
what he said. He goes, the bad part is they won't get drama from you. And I'm like, no, because I am very much like, I am just so, I don't take a whole lot too serious. And I'm just someone, if there's drama, like, I'm just like, all right. But also I'm over here in the corner, like.
You were the last to know everything. You're like, what? What?
Yeah. Yeah.
We
what
had
happened? Like,
clue her
Because
in.
he was meeting with Dr. Hogan when all the drama was going on.
Yeah.
She was Dr.
I don't know
Hogan.
why
I never got that. He never just came in my room and sat and watched TV with me.
I don't know, girl. I promise you. And like after I was eliminated at Comeback, he like met me in my room later, and he was like, "How you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm good." Like I get a call. I get to wake my parents up and tell them that I get in at midnight tomorrow. Like like I'm chilling. I was fine. He was like, "You just don't get too bothered by anything." And I'm like, "No, what? That's like, I don't. Why would you do that?
That's why I love her.
Did you guys? I have a question for everybody, for all the seasons. Did you guys have any special little tricks that you would do before the weigh-ins? Because like I know in season too. I heard that you guys were doing stuff. At least the men were. I don't know about the females, but like I know for us, we were doing not only just the caffeine pills, but that was not mandatory. You could take them if you wanted to. You didn't have to. But we would do the whole preparation H and wrapping yourself in saran wrap. We would take salt baths.
Wait.
Do,
What's the preparation H for?
To reduce swelling.
Oh, we would rub it all over our bodies, and then we'd wrap ourselves
What?
in saran wrap. You didn't do that?
No, but I'm
So-
gonna.
You dropped that like that was normal. Like what?
Jillian did this. So
Yeah,
so
all
we
of
would okay, you're getting the
What?
tea, I guess. So I thought that's why I'm like, wait, you guys all didn't do this stuff? All right. So yeah, you would wrap. She would buy us like boxes of preparation H, and right the night before we would take a bath in salt water. So we would we would just load up the bathtubs full of salt. We would soak in the bathtubs for about 15 minutes full of salt. We'd get out, dry off, put preparation H all over our bodies, wrap ourselves in saran wrap as much as possible, and then wear heavy clothing to sweat it out. So then we would soak up all of the water retention, and you know, just like they say, if you put under your eyes with a puffiness. So so literally the next morning we weigh ourselves at like 7 a.m. And so obviously the real, that's not a real scale. We all know that, but for people watching, that's not a real scale. We would weigh ourselves in front of everybody, and then we could go eat and go be normal. So so then you wonder why we're all dehydrated. So but we would do that. At least I can only speak on my behalf, but that's what we were all doing. Now I was friends with people in season 2. I made friends with Ryan and Andrea was telling me, God rest her soul, that she's like, she heard from like some of the guys that they would, we didn't have a room like that, but your bathroom or something, they would seal up the room and then make it into a sauna or a steam room. I'm like, is that true? Like, so I wish we could have done that. We didn't have that.
How did y'all have
Suzy,
time to do all this?
No, but Suzy, didn't you guys really made a protest red team about red team, because for us it was men versus women. And so the guys, we had a big like walk-in steam room or something. And they got cardio equipment. They brought treadmills into the sauna and the steam room. It was like a big space. This house was pretty amazing. And they were like, they wanted me to do it. And I was just like, no, that's cool. Because
I would love that.
You know, I was doing my own thing. I didn't want to do that. And so that's when Suzy got mad. He goes, you were laying in your bed last night, you know, and all this stuff. And it was like, because, you know, I was going to bed, you know, it's like I worked out already. I didn't need to, like, I knew I had lost 17 pounds from where I weighed in. And so I knew I didn't want to go into the sauna in the steam room and ride a bike in there, you know, but that's what they were doing.
Yeah. And that was partially because my husband was a college wrestler, and so he knew how to take weight off. So they ixnayed that though, because we did throw a fit about that. It's like, no. So
because you guys didn't have the bathroom like that. You guys didn't have that space.
We didn't have a bathroom. So, but no, we were dehydrating ourselves as much as we could. I mean, in the end, you know, I was up against 2 men for the finale, knowing Matt was a college athlete, a college wrestler, knowing how to dehydrate. And so I never took like a diuretic or laxative or anything like that, but I was quite dehydrated. I was spitting in towels, because I was thinking, what would these men be doing? What would these men be doing? And going from the sauna to the hot tub to spit, sauna, hot tub, spit, until I was about to pass out. So that's what I did. Like post finale, right before the finale.
And did you guys all weigh in naked, or did you keep your underwear on?
Naked.
We wore underwear.
Naked.
They weighed what is it? A hospital gown. They weighed the hospital gown so that they could.
You got a gown?
We were standing in that. Oh,
that was not my experience.
Oh, okay. Well, see,
we had totally different experience.
I know. How are we?
All right, it's getting down and dirty now. All right.
I will say I'm laughing at you guys because you're like doing all of these things. I'm like, when the hell did y'all have time to do all that? Like we were, okay, first of all, Gina would tell like the producers and the people who interviewed you, they promised, they didn't really promise Gina and I like a spinoff because they're like, you two always have energy. Like you're the last ones to go to bed. You're some of the first ones up, like blah, blah, blah. We were just always doing all of the things. And so literally on weigh-in mornings, we would get up and I feel like we were weighing in at like 5 a.m. Am I remembering? Okay. It was like super, super early. And the only
we drug tested and weighed and then pee tested because of y'all's seasons doing all this bullshit. We had to get up at 5 a.m. and we had a drug test every day and give blood all the time.
Wow.
Keep going. Sorry to interrupt. Keep going. Because you
no. I was gonna.
I think we did it like twice a week.
Because we did so like literally what I remember is like getting up. And literally it was like, okay, you know, you get up and you go pee, whatever. But then it was like, we would be sitting in the hallway, whatever, dancing in the hallway, you know, because, okay, we're going to try to keep stuff moving. Literally, I got to poop, but you're not weighing me until I go poop. Like, you're not getting that extra couple ounces or pounds of, so literally, like, I remember doing that. And I remember, like, Dr. Huizenga he was so funny because he's like, there's got to be something wrong with you. Like, he would take, like, 4 vials of blood from everyone else. I don't know how many. I was getting like 9, 12, 15. Cause he's like, I was healthy as a horse, internally speaking. I was just real overweight. But I'm like, I would give all this. I'm like, you can't weigh me till you take all this blood. Like, listen, an ounce is I don't care. Like, but no, we did not like, I don't recall. And I didn't do anything. And I know I saw Andrea pop up down there. I don't remember any of that. I'm going to be real with you. You left before me. So I don't know I don't know. I was not a part of what you were a part of, I guess. But yes, no, the only thing I did was poop.
We would weigh in at like 9 or 10. So we had literally all morning to do our real last chance workouts. So we would get up, put all of our clothes on. I would rubber band any opening shut, you know, put my hoodie on tight, and we'd go get like a 2-hour, 3-hour workout. Then you'd come back and you'd shower, dry your hair again. And so we had plenty of time to get that final out. And then we weighed in like a thong.
That must be why they changed it and started doing it at 5 a.m. Because they were on to all y'all stuff and all the things that you could do. And I think they were trying to make all that go away so that there was no question in people's weights. And they videotaped our weights. So when we stepped on the scale in that room, everything was on video.
Oh yeah.
And who was the guy, Gina? Do you remember with the amazing head of black hair, tall, muscular? Oh my gosh, I swear I would never.
Camera guy or the PT guy?
Is this the guy in the truck?
No, I don't know who that guy in the truck is either.
Is this the guy that Mike? Because that guy was hot. And also, Suzy, was Matt also wearing the thong, or was that just a girl thing?
Just a girl thing.
Yeah, we had our tea backs on. We look like fucking sumo wrestlers and shit.
That's so funny. No, but I can't remember who he was. He was real good looking though. I cannot. Anyway, chime in from season 16 if you're on here and you remember who it is. But anyways, he was, because I saw Emily say too about Mark. Yes, thank you. Very, very handsome. I'm sorry if you have a wife. Anyway, I digress. He was like, do you want to leave? Like, we had our Garmin bands on. Remember we wore those? He was like, do you want to leave that Garmin band up? Because anything that is not that hospital gown is added weight. And so we took everything off. Apparently some of us more than others. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never had a gown. I don't think.
But, and I will tell you, in our season, we had chances to win immunity. So we would do the whole dehydration thing like that. But then we would go and sneak and chug like 3 or 4 bottles of water so that the next week you would have that extra to lose. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we were really game plan, but you couldn't do, like, you still had to do the dehydration, so they didn't know you were game plan. I mean, I remember sitting in the bathroom, like drinking water right before the weigh-in and still getting down to the skivvies, so it looked like I was doing everything.
y'all thought y'all were sneaky, but they had you, because come season 16, it was totally
Done.
different.
Ruined it for us.
So now this kind of leans into the finale. I mean, I have like 100 people have like 100 questions, but what was your prep for finale? Because I was completely blown away when I showed up and everybody else had their colonic scheduled. I mean, I don't know. Some people maybe had organs removed. I don't know. And it was shocking to me when the show was such a controversy about Rachel, because to me, when I saw our 50, we had 50 contestants, I saw a bunch of Rachels and they were mostly men. And that had been happening from the very beginning when they were all appalled about Rachel. And it was like, no, there was like potential organ failure on my season. So what were your guys' procedures for the finale? What did you guys see?
Well, for me personally, I didn't do all that. I just came home and just did basically the same thing I was doing eating wise on the show. That's how I ate at home. I worked out every day. Sometimes I worked out twice a day, but to be honest, I was so happy where I was at when I got home that was okay with me. I knew I wasn't going to win. We know who's going to win. You kind of know who's going to win when you leave, I think. So I didn't go all out, but I know that some people on our show did, but not like past seasons, because we had to videotape, like we had to take our phone and show how much we weighed while we were on the scale and take a picture of our feet on the scale and send it in weekly. Because if we got too low, you thought maybe you would be kicked off the show or something. So the seasons prior to us, I think, taught them a lesson that they have to kind of monitor. Because we're going to eventually go back on TV, and we don't want to show the world that everybody, that you can lose this much weight in this short amount of time. So they had kind of course corrected by the time that we got on there. Don't you think, Chandra?
I agree. And I think, I don't know when they flew, everybody who had gone home, when they flew them back in for the finale, but we were there, was it 2 weeks before we actually filmed the finale? And I think that, I don't know how long it was for everybody else, but I think a big part of that was to make sure that didn't happen again. And we did workouts, everyone all together. If you wanted to go work out freely, if you didn't want to work out, whatever. But, and then of course, after we did our final weigh in and they were like, okay, that's it. Everybody's like, cool. Let's just take it easy and spend time with each other, So I did always wonder if we came in for finale longer before we actually filmed than other seasons, because they were trying to prevent that. And they wanted to make sure if you're going out there, you're not going to come out there, looking like Rachel. Or I think that was the idea, but I don't know for sure. But yeah, I didn't do anything different. When my at-home trainer, I love her. She is family to me. The first thing she asked me, she goes, do you want money or do you want to be healthy? And I said, it's never been I don't care about the money. It's never been about the money for me. And she's like, all right, so we're making this a life change. And I said, okay. And so we just did what we did. And then she's like, okay, when you go out there for finale, she's like, just keep working the system. And she was like, I'm right here if you need me. And so I just kept doing what I was doing. I didn't care. I didn't care about winning. I never went there to win. I didn't care about the money. I didn't even know how much money we would be making if we won, but it wasn't ever about that for me. So I didn't change anything. I was like, this is a lifestyle. This is not a win some money, become famous. It wasn't that for me.
Yeah. So I was crazy. But I made it to the finale with 2 guys. And I'm really competitive. I'm very competitive. And so it wasn't about the money. It was about the competition. And I knew I couldn't beat Matt because I didn't weigh enough to even come close to him. And he was like a wrestler who had, he used to lose 20 pounds right before he'd wrestle. That was how he rolled. So, but, no, when I went home up until the finale, I'd get up at 6, I'd go swim for an hour, then I'd go straight to the gym and I'd work out for about an hour and a half. Then I'd go work and then I'd go to the gym after that, work out for about an hour and a half. And then I told the producers that if they want me to get better results, I need a piece of equipment at my house. So they mailed me a bike. So then when I was home before I'd go to bed, I would just bike the rest of the night. And that was every day. And I was single, owned my own business, had a mortgage. So I still had to work and all that. I still remember I'd eat a half a cup of ground turkey with some egg whites and ketchup for breakfast. I would have a shredded lettuce with some ground turkey and a little bit of this dressing we all had. I can't even remember what it was called. I would do something similar like that for dinner, and then I'd drive every night to McDonald's and I'd get an ice cream cone. And that's what I ate every day. Right before the finale, I went to no salt turkey, and that's what I ate right before. And I chewed a lot of gum. And before I left for California, they brought us in 5 days early. So before I left, I was on solely no salt turkey and shredded lettuce and gum, because then I wouldn't drink any of it. I would just spit the gum would make me salivate. I'd spit it out. I didn't get a colonic. I was drinking my Fiber One all the time. But yeah, that's what I did. I dehydrated 8 pounds right before the finale. And I was pretty, I call it my anorexic days. The bones on my back were popping through. I was a 0 waist, which is so I couldn't have gotten any smaller. And I was 132, which is not very small for a woman. That's a lot of average women's, but I was sick looking. So I was kind of bent over most of the time because I'd given myself such stomach issues from the sugar-free popsicles and the Splenda I ate. So I was 1 pound away from winning second place, though. So
Wow.
So
You almost beat your husband.
no, I was nowhere close to beating him, but
Oh.
I almost beat Seth. But so I definitely had a different journey. But again, it was our season was very competitive, and it was, you'd see one person do one thing and it was oh my gosh, I got to do that. Oh, you're tying your wrist before your last chance workout. Oh, so air wouldn't get out. I'm oh yeah, I'm doing that. We had one girl who would saran wrap her waist before she would do her last chance workout. I never went that far. I was I can't handle that texture against my skin. But we were doing everything we could.
Ruben, Matthew, any fun thoughts on that? And then we'll go to our final question.
Okay. For me, I was working out a lot by myself. I didn't get a trainer or anything, but I was already sort of getting back on track and sort of getting my athleticism back pretty quickly. I had been an athlete a lot of my life. And so, I was doing that. And then the girlfriend I had at the time, she was getting into it with me. So we were running Canyon. I became a runner. I was running out to the beach. I was living out near Santa Monica. Then that fall, I was in college and I had a full load. So I sort of slacked off. I got to 12% off, 12% body fat by September. And then and then I just kind of took it easy and was focusing on school. But then about a month before the finale, I just started hitting again with 2 a days. Didn't take anything. I wasn't really a supplement guy at all. Never have been. I never really felt a difference when I was taking supplements or not. But I always have been a good eater, and I was sticking to 1,500 calories a day the whole time, probably up until I started school, and then I sort of slacked off that fall. But then with a month ago, I really dialed it in. I got down to 6% body fat by the finale, and yeah, I did it the right way. I uncovered the fat, and I had 200 pounds of muscle underneath there. So that's what's up.
I just continued my diet. I really didn't have to. I mean, I worked out, but my gym was pretty far away, and I didn't have a whole lot of things. I'm not making excuses. I just, from working 9-10 hours a day working out, I'm to coming home and being only able to go to a gym maybe 3 days a week. I'm it was a big change. So I would try to do things at home, but I mean, it wasn't a full workout. So I didn't get to work out as much, but I did continue. I just continued my journey pretty much. That's all. So yeah, I don't really have too much to say about that other than my diet pretty much stayed the same.
I know it sounds like I had quite a different journey than everybody here, but being the only girl, in the finale, I was getting called from producers. Bob would call me and I'd be like, Bob, I'd show him and I'd say, I think this is skin. I don't know if I have much more fat. And he's like, girl, you weigh 140. You got more fat. Let's go. Like, I was getting it from all different directions. They made me check in weekly with my weight. They didn't do that to the guys that were in my end of the season. Like, I actually had to have the Weight Watcher lady email my weight every week. Comes to find out, I was the only one they were making do. They really wanted like a girl to try to win my season. So I had so much pressure on me to get as skinny as I could, basically.
Suzy, you sound like everybody on my season. Like, you don't sound strange. It doesn't sound like you did anything weird. It sounds like at that season of the show, that's what a lot of people were doing. And I'm sure that went on more because, as they were saying, it changed later. So
Yeah.
Don't feel bad at all. My last question is actually a great one, I think, which is, did you take anything good or bad away from the show? And I'm going to give you my example. I learned two things. I thought before the show that if I couldn't lose the weight, that I just was unlovable and I wasn't worthy as a human being. So on the show, you lose the weight, you still feel kind of the same way about yourself. So then you got to figure out, well, how am I going to figure out how to love me? So the show gave me that. And then the show gave me that literally anything in the world is possible. Anything. Because we got to do this. So literally, I mean, if I think of anything, it's possible. So, and yours doesn't have to be positive or negative. Do you have any takeaways of what you learned from the show?
Oh my God, I have so many. I don't know where to start, but I will tell you one of the things I did, I think, figure out for myself is that I'm tougher than I thought. I was the girl that didn't want to spend the night away from home. Like, I was codependent, and like, I didn't leave home. I mean, I did not ever really leave home. I would spend the night with my friends or whatever, but I was just very codependent. So I knew I had to get on that show to leave my family for however long we were gone, 3 months, which was the scariest thing to me. That was the biggest fear. And I got over that. Kind of, you'll notice Chandra and I were besties throughout the show. But when she got voted off and had to leave, that was the most horrible thing to me. I thought, oh my God, I got to go home. This is it. She left. She was kind of the one that I became codependent on the show. And when she left, I almost had a panic attack. And it brought me back to my childhood when I would be away from home and I would cry, and you can't explain it, right? I didn't know why I was that way. But when she left the show, I went into panic mode. And I thought, I'm going to die. I did need Dr. Hogan probably at that point. So I did learn that, yes, I can leave home. I can go away. I can maintain. I can take care of myself away from home. The second thing I learned is probably from Jen. So the very first episode, she is throwing a ball at me, and I had to catch the ball. It was one of those big medicine balls. I caught the ball. I didn't not catch the ball, but I instantly started crying. And I really didn't understand why I was crying. Now looking back on it, my biggest fear is looking stupid and to look stupid on TV. And one of the reasons I went on that show is because you cannot not look stupid. You're in spandex, overweight on stage. So I knew it was inevitable that I was going to look stupid. And man, I didn't know it was going to be that first episode. And I just was hysterical and I could not stop crying. So she comes to me and she's like, what's the matter? What are you crying about? Thinking it's going to be this huge issue. I'm like, I don't know. And so she just sat there and talked to me for a minute. And what she told me was, you either lead with love or you lead with fear. Your brain cannot do both things at the same time. And that was so eye-opening to me. So every time I go into something, if I want to cry or if I want to go, oh my God, I can't do this, I'll find something to love about it, or I'll find the lesson in it. And it has changed my life. And also, I think I've become either a master manifester, because I manifested my way on this season. I tried out 14 seasons in a row, and the shit that I did to get on this season at home, I would never tell anybody about, because it's embarrassing. But
You told me.
It's kind of a thing that you anything's possible. And you learn a lot about yourself. And then when you have to watch yourself on TV and hear yourself, that's the best thing that anybody can do, is you get to really look and see yourself kind of at a bird's eye view. And it makes you like, oh my God, I'm not that bad. You know what I mean? You really think, you see yourself in a different light. And then when you see yourself on TV, you see yourself in a better way, I think. Or I do from the show. You don't? When I watch the show, I'm
I
just
was crying in every video that they showed of me. Apparently, that's all I do is cry.
well, I do. I cry a lot, but I think that's part of it. And I want to say something too, real quick. Everybody gives Jillian shit, or everybody shit for them being a hard trainer and pushing you. That is where the weight loss happens. So when they're pushing you, they're trying to get you to see what you can do. Because if you go out to pick up a coach, you want somebody that coaches you that believes in you more than you believe in yourself. So their job is to push you up over that hill. And damn it to the people that have anything bad to say about anybody on this show. It makes me mad, because you signed up to go on this show. You could have walked off at any time. You're your own advocate. And it makes me so angry when anybody says anything bad about any of these trainers on the show.
Nobody knows anything that we went through except us. So
Yep.
that's why we're a family.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's all I'm going to say. But I loved it, and I am forever changed. And I'm so grateful to the show. I'm grateful to all the producers, and I'm grateful to my team.
So I will say, I know that Gina had a panic attack, because when I was, again, kicked off, there was a vote that took place, but I'm going to stand on my truth that I was kicked off. No, I'm kidding. I literally told the producers, and I told Kristen and Emily were with me, and I was like, you guys need to check on Gina. Like, I know she's not okay. We were that close. I was like, I know she's not okay. And so it's really funny, because then Sonia, I think, said in the chat, she was like, you did have a panic attack. And I'm like, I told everybody, go check on my girl. I think for me, I have like really big takeaways. One of them was just the whole finding myself. When I finally found myself, I finally realized that I'm worthy, regardless of I thought because I weighed so much, because I try to stay away from saying, oh, I'm fat. I mean, well, kind of. But when I was so big and it interfered with my life, I wasn't worthy of love. I have all this love to give, and I would freely give it to anybody. People tell me all the time, you're so nice, you're so kind, you're so, you just respect people, da, da, da. I always say thank you, but I don't feel like I deserve that grace and love and stuff back because I was big. So the show taught me, and it was like night one is when it started, that freaking first weigh in, Matthew, like, take your clothes off. And I'm like, what? I know that I signed up for this, but I didn't want to have to do this part. Like, I thought I had a choice. Yeah. And it was right then when I was like, I am literally butt booty naked out here in front of the world. Like, there's not going to be a single soul that doesn't see, have access to this. And it was finally like, but these people who I don't know their names, they love me. They love me. And I was like, I am worthy. And then like my team, the blue team, spoke that into me and helped me believe that. But then my entire season did that. And I'm talking the athletic trainers like Dr. Huizinga, Cheryl, Dr. Hogan, like everybody else. So for me, my biggest takeaway was that I am worthy, and that it's okay to be whatever weight I am, as long as I'm working on myself and trying to be better than I was the day before. Even if I don't have it to give 100% looks different every day, no matter what you're doing. But as long as you're giving the best that you can, that's what's important. And I think the second takeaway from it was just realizing that, I came from a smaller city, like in Southwest Kansas, nobody knows. And I thank you. I love you, cousin. Realizing that people loved me and supported me that didn't know me, or even in my town, like the insane amount of support I had from my town. And like, people would start following me around Walmart. Mind you, we have Walmart and we have Dillon's. Like, that's the only grocery stores we have. And people were like, I'm like, Mom, what? She's followed us down 3 aisles. She's just staring at me. And she was like, are you the girl that's on Biggest Loser? You're so amazing. And it was like, people loved me, not because they thought I was a celebrity, like they knew that I wasn't, but just people support you and love you regardless of your size. Like, I thought that that's all that people saw. And I quickly learned that that's not necessarily the case. Now, there's people out there that, will judge you and stuff. But for me, I realized how I was seeing me is not at all how others see me. And the way that I was loving me is not how others love me, and not how others, see me. So that was my biggest thing. I am forever changed by that show. I agree 100% with Gina. you knew what you were signing up for. You could have left, you know, all of these things. I respect everybody's experience because not everybody thinks the same way. They don't have the same feeling and past experiences to get them through and stuff. But I just get really frustrated because I'm like, that was just not my experience. And I don't understand how your season was like that. Now, speaking with the three of you in earlier seasons, I get it more, but I'm just going like, this is the best thing that ever happened to me, hands down. I did not find my husband. I'm still single, 37. So if you're out there looking for a wife and you love the Lord, holla at your girl. But I certainly wouldn't change a thing about it, and I would go back in a heartbeat.
Chandra, what's your phone number? I'll put it on the ticker. I'm just kidding.
I'll give it to you. Listen, at this point, like my sister just got engaged and she's 10 years younger than me. And I was like, oh, my empty hand needs something. So, you know.
My turn.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have like a takeaway because let's be honest, it was a long time ago. And I would say like that is just a piece in my puzzle, and my puzzle is big and it's not done filling up yet. It was an important piece. My biggest takeaway was my husband. And I didn't he was the first guy I ever dated. He's the first guy I ever kissed, and I was 29 years old.
Wow.
I didn't know like what it meant when a guy liked you because I was always like the chubby girl, and I just thought that guys always wanted to be my friend. So when I was on the show, the girls were like, Suzy, no, those boys, they liked you. And so I made it a mission. I was like, well, I'm not going to go home not knowing what it means. So that's why I asked Matt, you know, do you like me or what? Are you going to kiss me or what? Like, because I was like, I'm not going home from that. But it is just a small piece of my puzzle because I'm not like Suzy from The Biggest Loser. I'm Suzy, wife, mom, daughter, sister, friend, entrepreneur, business owner, volunteer. Like, that's my worth. And Biggest Loser was a piece of that. And I feel like same as you two girls up there, like, it does like get me upset when I think people put too much value in being on The Biggest Loser instead of going, it was like a season in my life. And I'm like, it's like taking poison and expect someone else to die from it. What's that saying, right? I feel like people are upset about The Biggest Loser, drinking the poison, thinking it's going to affect the people they're pissed at. And I don't know. That's just not how I roll. So my takeaway is like, we're more than just being on the show. We're all that. And I'm so glad that, I mean, we're about to celebrate our 19th anniversary with my husband, and neither of us are who we were when we went on the show. We're unrecognizable, you know. He got way better. I got a little worse. Like, we came in the middle. Just kidding. We rubbed off on each other.
Ooh, careful.
And I'm thankful for that. So.
I don't think she realizes what she just said, but that's okay.
What did
I just
say?
want to
We
throw in
rubbed
a little
off on
thing
each
here,
other?
Suzy, that I
In
know
that closet.
you said that you're rubbing off on each
That
other.
was not me. That was not me.
I don't know. You just admitted to it, and it's out there now. Sorry, Suzy.
Out
No.
there.
I love you, baby.
I know that Biggest Loser was just a season for you, Suzy, but I just want to say, like, seeing how hard you worked and the success you had and meeting Matt, because I was single going on the show as well, it gave me like this wind in my sail. Like, if Suzy can do it, I can do it. And I know I'm not the only one out there that feels the same way. But anyway,
Yeah,
fangirling.
Suzy, I'm like, you know, I only watched my season and then your season, and then I kind of stopped. So I would pick up episodes here and there throughout the years, but the show changed so much that I was like, I don't recognize this show anymore. So I kind of wish I did watch it now, but anyway, but watching you and Matt, and like I became friends, like I said, with Ryan and Andrea from your season, and I got to meet them and hang out with them. Anyway, point is we loved you. My husband and I watched, and we loved you both, and just so inspirational. And I got to feel what people felt watching our season. So I got to fall in love with all the characters, but you know what I'm saying, all the people,
Yeah.
but all the different characters on the episode. And we had favorites and, you know, and people you didn't like, and some of them are in the spotlight again. Anyway, but you know, I just wanted to say though, I was excited when I was like, oh, Suzy's gonna be on. So I'm like, I was actually excited to
I
get
know,
to
me
meet
too,
you.
me too.
So I've always wanted to meet you. I'm like, and Matt, and just because I'm like, again, it was just really cool to see what was, you know, preceding us. Like, you know, like I said, we didn't know anything about this show to see season 2, and it was like a new house and a new theme song and a new all this stuff, and then falling in love with all of you. And you guys did do amazing, and it was cool to see a love story. And I know it's ended up being yours, and it ended up being, you know, everywhere for everyone to see. But just wanted to tell you that I'm like, it was really amazing, and you should be
Thank
very
you.
proud of yourself. It's we loved you, so everybody loved you. I think America loved you, so
Thank you.
it's
Yeah.
very cool to call you a family member. You guys are all
Yeah.
family members.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
something that we got out of it, is to be part of that community. You know, me, I was only there for a week. So, you know, I don't even
Doesn't
tell
matter.
people that, but I don't even like bring that up in my life much, because no one really remembers me from the show because it's so long ago and I was the first one gone. So, you know, it's not something that I really, you know, am present to on a daily basis, but it gave me my career. Basically, I became a trainer that same year that I was on The Biggest Loser, and I've been doing it ever since. And
Then that's why
so
you were
that's
meant to be
something.
there.
Yeah, and now, you know, I'm helping older folks. I am an older folk now. I'm going to be 60 next year, and you know, I feel
Really?
like that my
For
I feel like my
serious?
Damn.
I'm
I
like,
feel like that clean living for the last 20 years, pretty much. But that's something I got out of the show. I never counted a calorie before in my life, before I went on Biggest Loser, and then, you know, started, you know, doing all this stuff that Jillian was telling me as far as you know, counting calories and stuff. And then, you know, I had never really been a weightlifter. I'd always been a big guy, just inherently, and more of an athlete than a weightlifter. But I was losing not much weight after I got eliminated, and I was doing a lot of cardio. And Julian told me my maximum heart rate, my heart rate was supposed to be like 180. So I was working out at 180 the whole time. And so I started losing weight, but then she said I got to lift weights. And then once I started lifting weights, that's when I started losing even more weight every week. And then, you know, I've been sort of in that business ever since.
Well, guys, I think this was a great episode. Thank you so much for
there he
coming on.
is.
Oh my gosh.
So
Hey.
I'm going to
There's
the
my-
floor up in one of Suzy's rooms.
one of Suzy's.
But I've been listening, and I have to tell you guys, first, Ruben, I'm sorry I was a dick to you. Because when you're sharing, they didn't tell us these things. So we see it like, what's his problem? And
Yeah.
so I'm sorry. 20 years later,
right.
I'm sorry. But the rest
No,
of you guys,
we
thank
made
you for
peace
sharing
when we
your
saw each
stories,
other at the
everybody.
airport.
It was so awesome
Yeah.
to listen to you guys.
Wait,
Yeah.
what'd you say, Ruben?
I said, we ran into each other in the airport, and we were like, you know, nice to each other and everything. So
Yeah.
I got no existing beef, you know, with anybody from the show. It was something that gave me the kick in the ass that I needed personally. I was getting toward the 40s, and I felt like that I was going downhill. And then I had this new idea that as we get older, we can get better. And that's still the case. That's still what I believe. And so
Sure.
that's what I'm up to. And, you know, good to see you, Matt.
Who had the accent? Who's got the accent?
Gina.
Oh, that's Gina. You know it's
Oh my
Gina.
gosh, I
What
love your
accent? What
accent.
accent?
Thanks for
My
letting me
little
listen
Southern
to you guys.
Hey,
Southern
I have-
accent.
I have a question for Suzy and Matt. So I know y'all went to go film that documentary. Do you know who was funding that documentary? Do we know who funded it?
I wondered about that too.
I think we should find that out. I think that'll answer a lot of questions for us.
I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody
Read the
does.
credits.
I
Read the
expect there might be
credits.
another type of documentary coming down the pipe.
We should all
Ooh.
do our research and see who has funded that documentary. I think it would.
I can't
Maybe-
remember the. I think the production I don't know. Matt has theories
I
about
have
it.
theories.
I'm all about conspiracies.
I am too. We need to talk after the show. Is there an after show?
Yeah, we need the after show.
That's why I'm asking this question. I think that holds the key to a lot of things that I think we should find out about.
I don't have conspiracy theories about it. I just think they sucked at putting it together, and it bombed, and it didn't do as well as they wanted it to.
You want to hear my conspiracy?
Because they didn't.
I think they're going to do a reboot of The Biggest Loser, and they put it back in the spotlight like this. Maybe they do another show that, like you guys did, to talk about the positives, and then they can do a spin-off of it. So, but that's just the way my brain works. It's like, why after 20 years? There's so much more they could have done.
That's exactly what I think. I'm like, I think they're bringing it back because they know that's something America loved, and I think that they're trying to figure out exactly how much interest is still there. And I'm like, it's still there. Bring it, girl, back. We're ready.
But yeah, you can't find it. It's not streaming anywhere.
No.
Oh, I know. There's a bootleg version on YouTube, but maybe I shouldn't have said that because I don't want it to go away. Bootleg. And then some of the later seasons, I think, are on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Did you guys get DVDs? Did you guys get DVDs when you left?
No. We had somebody send us that liked our show, and they recorded it and sent it to us.
Production actually sent us DVDs. Like, they are rough cut. It is like so each episode is like a disc.
Oh, that's
I had to buy my season on Amazon Prime, so whatever. But Matthew, you need to go watch season 16. I'm just saying,
it's the best.
I'm gonna watch season 16 too.
I will.
Which seasons were there? Were you guys the last season?
No,
there was one season after us, and then there was season 17, which was pretty much kind of the same, I think. And then the season 18, I did not even know until this year that there was a season 18. So I don't really know what that was about, but.
Can I tell a funny story?
Yes.
I went to the Mall of America to do my casting call, and I was talking to my dad on the phone, and then I saw Matt, and it's the first and only time in my entire life that I was starstruck, and I dropped my phone. And I didn't even realize that I did it, because I was like, there's Matt. And it was so funny, because back then, if you dropped your phone, it was gone, you know? So anyway.
She is so like, what?
Do you still do that, Suzy? Do you get starstruck by your husband too?
Oh, every day.
I know. I didn't know how to ask. I didn't know how to ask questions because I was going to send Suzy and say, "What's your favorite part of being married to Matt?" I just wanted to hear.
I
gotta go to work. Hey, thank you for doing this show. You guys were awesome.
Thanks for coming in, Matt.
Thanks for talking with us.
It's a nice cameo.
Well, guys, I think I better wrap it up because YouTube doesn't like super long videos. But we could do this all day and night. You guys were absolutely fabulous. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Next week, we're going to do this again. So tune in next week for another episode with 5 more Biggest Loser alumni. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And everybody have a good night. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, buddy. Take care.
Thank you.